All right, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another live stream. This one's gonna be an interesting one for a couple of reasons. Just two reasons. Number one is I took off work today because my kids were out of school and we did some stuff as a family this morning. Then we all decided to take a nap this afternoon, and I basically I have a futon right behind me right here. I basically just woke up like 5 minutes ago. Like I kind of lost track of time, and so I'm a little bit I guess I did have enough time to run out and get myself a drink, but like I'm just a tiny bit out of it, which is also not good because we are covering a lot of different ground today. So hold on. I need to check my audio really quick too. Okay. It sounds like my audio is okay. I just replaced my MacBook. So as you're aware, I've been doing these streams off of a Mac Mini. So I now do have a formal MacBook Pro, an M1 MacBook Pro. And we'll talk about a little bit more here in a bit. But yeah, so I'm a tiny bit out of it, and we have a lot of ground to cover, and I'm kind of unprepared. So hopefully, I didn't even check to see that everything's working. So I'm just going to see, okay, is this working? Okay. All right, so what we're going to be doing today, so this is a return to the computer vision rock paper scissors project, and with this project, in the first one of these, we did a capture of the training images, and with the capture of the training images, we had like automated this through computer vision 2. And in fact, I'm going to redo this just a tiny bit here. In fact, let me go ahead and do this live. So I meant to do this earlier and I just didn't mean to. So this is the script that we wrote last time, but I've now altered it, or I was starting to alter it. And the reason I'm altering it is because I did have it doing like the split between the train and the test beforehand. And now after I've gotten into this next thing that we're going to go here, that I've realized it's probably better to just capture them all in one bucket and then split them out after the fact. And that'll make sense here why. So I was just right before the stream began starting to refactor this, so to just be more generic, to capture like one body of images instead of like doing a train test split on the fly here. And I was just refactoring this script, and I think everything should be almost good to go at this point. So I am going to recapture my images because I did lose the images from the last stream whenever I swapped over to this new Mac, which is fine. I like capturing the images, no big deal. So let's go over into here. CD, CV, rock, paper, scissors. Okay. All right. So CD dependent, now images. Okay. So RM, RF test, RM, RF, train. Okay, so as you can see here, this is the directory where our images are going to be housed. And then per this script here, did I adjust everything appropriately? So we are going to be creating a file path in here that's just called like all images. And so then after the fact, we are going to split them out into respective train and test whenever we get to that point. So we're not going to be covering that today. So let me go ahead and recapture these images. So this is basically just running this little CV2 script, and it's going to be using my webcam here. And like I said, I should have tested all this out before I started doing this today. So apologies that I am a bit out of sorts right now. So CD src. Okay, so I'm going to start capturing the images by running this in Python 3 capture images.py. Okay, so you're going to see here a little window pop up that's going to be starting the capture of images rock. So I'm going to hold up my fist here in a rock formation. So capturing image number 1, 2, maybe move it around a little bit. Move it around some more. All right, so we're capturing all these images of me with my hand in the rock formation. And then, so while this is capturing this right now, so what we're going to be doing today, so all right, so let me do paper, is now that we're starting to capture these, and now I'm regretting having my colored lights on right now, because in fact I may even end up redoing this later, but for today we're gonna stick with my crappy images here. So basically what I'm getting at is when we actually train these images at some point, it's going to be looking for a not only just a pattern of like what sort of formation my hand is in or whatnot, but it's also going to be looking for colors. And so if I have my special colorized set up like I do here, Then if my hands are a bit more pink here, then this is not like a natural lighting setting. So I probably should have changed the colors of my lights here. So, okay. All right, almost done. And then we're going to check to see that this is all good to go. All right, so open. Okay. By the way, I am monitoring the chats down here for both LinkedIn and YouTube. So if you have any questions along the way, feel free to drop something in the chat here. Okay, so you can see here in my all images directory that was created by this script that I have a new set of images that has been created. So we are starting very fresh here. So this is a set of 30 images. I may even do more for formal training at some point, but like I'm going to keep things simple today. So as I was getting into, so when we actually are going to train these our new model with our images here, they need to be annotated in such a way that the model knows what we're specifically looking for, because the model is not looking for every single thing in this photo. So specifically, let me grab one of these scissors photos here at random. Okay, so this looks terrible. But basically, so what it's going to be doing is the computer is going to be looking for my hand here. And so with that, we need to annotate these images with bounding boxes. So what a bounding box is basically what it sounds like is it's going to be a rectangular box that we are going to be creating corner to corner, and it's going to be basically be saying, okay, a computer vision model, when we start training our image, you want to look for whatever is in the bounding box. And so today I want to show you not one, not two, but 3 different ways of doing this. Now just a little bit of a forewarning here with this is I'm not exactly so the way that these files output the annotations is I don't think necessarily perfect for the model yet, and part of that is I need to figure out how to do that. So I believe that because we are going to be using TensorFlow for this particular project, and maybe we'll get around PyTorch. I haven't considered that yet, but at least I want to try out things with TensorFlow, and so TensorFlow expects these annotations to be in these files called .record files. And so I'm going to show you 3 different ways of annotating your images, and I believe that there's probably a way to convert all these outputs into something that is actually usable with these TensorFlow record files. So that'll come probably in the next stream or so. So not going to be too worried about today about getting the proper formatting going on. Just want to show you the different options. Let's go ahead and jump into the 3 options. So 2 of them are open source options, and the open source options are actually rather adjacent to one another in terms of I think they're both created by the same. I don't know if it's company or just like organization that is that's managing these open source tools. And I just realized that this camera's kind of messed. Oh wait, no, that's not messed up. That's just the weird glare there. And then the third one I want to test out today is a product on Amazon or AWS called SageMaker Ground Truth. So SageMaker Ground Truth is another interesting one. So each of them have their own different benefits and detriments. So and I'll cover those as we get into those. So the first one that I want to cover today is something called label image. Here, let me just type it out for you. Label image. Label image. So this appears to be the most popular one in terms of the most popular open source one. This is the one that keeps coming across. Like anytime I come across like a data science article or any sort of Stack Overflow post, this is the one that is referenced the most often. Now, it's just to give you a sneak peek. The second one we're actually going to be testing out is Label Studio, and the reason I did that is because when I was looking at the README file here, I actually came across this. So we will be actually checking out Label Studio. It's a fair bit different. But I do want to cover this one first because, I think I shared in the first stream that the way that I learned what we're doing here for this project was from this YouTube video, like a YouTube course, like it was a 5-hour YouTube video. And the person in that video used label image as his primary labeling annotation thing. So, I did want to cover both because I think in the end we may use the outputs of the label image just because he demonstrates how he converts the outputs of label image into what is used for the TensorFlow. Okay, so that is that. So let's go ahead and fire this up. So the first thing here, Did I delete that? Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is we need to just to show you how to do a clean installation of this, because some of these things can be challenging to install. So let me note again that I am on a MacBook Pro M1. I guess we should be starting to call this the Apple Silicon. I know people have been calling this M1 just because it's been easier. However, now we have a MacBook Pro that contains an M2 chip inside of it, and rumors are that Apple will refresh the MacBook Pro here in the next month with an M2 Pro and an M2 Max chip. So Apple Silicon, that's I think the formal nomenclature of these chips. So this is an Apple Silicon machine, and as such, there are challenges that I have run into here. So some of these challenges you may not run into. Just be aware that I am coming with this from this narrower perspective. So in order to be able to download this, so let me create my virtual environment. So Python 3 venv. So what this is basically doing is going to be creating a virtual environment called venv, venv. So if I do an ls right now, you can see that I have a new directory here representing my virtual environment. And then to actually activate it, we're going to run this command that says source venbin activate. And so now we are inside of here. Okay, and so in order to install this on a MacBook Pro like such, this is where it gets a little bit hairy. So because by default, it will tell you to come down to these instructions and just do for here, all right, so here it's telling us to do this brew install of Qt and libxml. I would imagine this probably does work for, or even down here, like with these instructions, I would imagine this may work for some of these older Intel-based Macs. So if you have any Mac basically made before 2021, that maybe these instructions work. However, so that's what I would start with if you have one of those computers, or if you're on a Windows machine. I believe I can't remember if there's a Windows instructions on here or not. I did successfully install this on I still do have my Microsoft Surface, and I did successfully install this much easier on my Microsoft Surface. So, but in order for me to do this with the MacBook Pro here, I actually had I found through one of these Stack Overflow posts or one of these GitHub issues, one of the two, that I actually have to use this branch called PySide6. And so basically what I need to do here is I need to do a git clone of this PySide6 and then run it appropriately. So with these precise instructions that you can see right here. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do right now. So I'm going to run this command. So that's going to install PySide6 and LXML. Run this make command. So transparently, I do not know what this make command does. I guess I should research it at some point, but it is required for my install here. So let's go ahead and run these commands here to get these installed. Here, let me switch some stuff around. Okay, so PySide6, or just do a pip3 install PySide6 and XML. All right, so that's going to install here. And then we are going to need to do a git clone of PySide6 and then cd of this branch here, and then put it, and then actually invoke this script here. So the instructions, where does it say that? I know you have to do it, but it doesn't say necessarily in here. Okay, well, we'll find out here in a second. So let's just do, I'm going to grab the HTTPS here from this GitHub. Okay, so this is going to take a bit to download. So maybe I can start doing the git clone here in this other repos. All right, so cd repos. All right, cd cv parking lot. Oh my gosh, I'm not in the. We're not doing the parking lot project. We're doing the. Like I said, I'm pretty out of it right now. I'm surprised I'm keeping it this together with how out of it I am from that nap. So if you're just now joining, as I shared as I was coming on, I had today off work because my kids were out of school, and we did stuff this morning, and then we took an afternoon nap, and then I woke up like 10 minutes right before the stream, and I'm just a little bit hazy from that. Okay, so we successfully installed PySide6 there. All right, so then I want to check to see, what did I do here with my my things? Oh, I need to update my git ignores, don't I? Okay, I do need to update the git ignore since I changed things in here. Okay, so I'm going to add images /all images / star JPEG. So this is basically saying do not do that. Okay, so that's what I did. So I used because we are going to have to do a git clone of this label image repository, and I don't want to push that up into GitHub, so I use this git ignore file so when I clone this, then it will not be pushed back up in here. So let's do a git clone, and then we do want to do this. Looks like I already did this before. I have autofill already pre-installed here on my machine. So what this command is doing is it's taking this same git repo and then but specifically say, hey, I want to clone this PySide6 branch. So I'm going to clone this here, and this is going to clone down into my local repository here. And then with PySide6 and this LM, oh my gosh, I cannot talk right now. LXML already installed on here, then we should be able to go ahead and execute this script. And if I was smart and didn't sleep in, I would have tested this all out one last time an hour before our live stream here. But you are getting the sleepy David version of me trying to stumble through this. Okay, so now we have this downloaded. So you can see here we have this label XML label image XML. So I'm going to go ahead and then initiate this. So label image.py, and this should start a user interface that it should it should have started this user interface. Okay, so no module, no libs dot resources. Okay, well, what did I do wrong here? I should have made more notes and stuff about this because I knew that I was going to run into some issue here. Oh, I didn't do the make. That was the thing. Okay, make PySide6. There we go. There we go. That's probably it right there. Okay, here we go. All right, so this is the user interface I was hoping to do. Okay, whew. All right, we're still on track. All right, so the way this works is that we are going to open a directory here. And so this is why I ended up combining everything into one like master directory, because it's just easier to point to this single directory of all these things. And you can see off on the right here, if I can, well, let me see if I can move my head out of the way. Yeah, that's probably good enough. So what we can do here is now we can start adding annotations here. So I am going to, I can't remember the hotkey for this. It's W. Okay, so because we're going to create a rectangle box. And so what we're going to do here is I don't know how hard this is for you to see on your screen, but you can kind of see like that where my cursor is at is creating a vertical and a horizontal like axes that is just meeting at where the cursor is at. And so we're going to just simply drag this to capture my hand like so. And so this is, this is actually pretty simple in theory. And then we are going to give it a label. So this is going to be my paper label, since we are annotating this with the paper image. And so then I click OK. And so you can see here that we do have our bounding box. And then I'm going to save this. And then for now, I think I'm just going to save all my annotations in the same do I want to save it in the same directory? I think I am, although I didn't think this through when I was doing this earlier of where I should be placing these different annotations at. So that it's pretty simple though. So I'm not going to go through and label every single one of these. I just wanted to get a handful of these. But basically, so let me come back into here then. So let's go ahead and open our Finder window. And just so you can see what an example of one of these annotations looks like. So you can see here, I've just annotated the one image, and now you can see corresponding to this, because we gave our, as part of that one script, whenever we actually captured our images, we gave unique identifiers to these images. So you can see that this same unique identifier for this JPEG also now has this XML correspondent thing here. And you can see when we actually open it, and this, let me open this in text editor or something that I can blow up a little bit. Just checking to see if there's any questions. No questions. All right, so this is the annotated image now. So you can see basically we are where the path is, and this is specifically what we are labeling here. So you can see here it's just basically capturing the X and Y coordinates for each of the corners of the bounding box here. So you can see that this is the name of the tag itself, and then each of these numbers represent each of the corners here. And that is really it as far as just this label image goes. Like I guess let me say there probably is more that you can do with this label image library, but part of the reason I stuck 3 different ways into like one live stream here is because obviously, 20 minutes and I don't want to call it a day here. So I thought I'd show you a couple different ways of doing things. So that's essentially it. Now, like I said, I don't know necessarily or how we could use this XML file for TensorFlow. I know you can. I do know it has to be converted. We're not going to do the conversion today because I do need to figure that out. But this is just to help you familiarize yourself with what the different options are there. So let me go ahead and grab another random one of these. So, and some of these are pretty, oh my gosh, they're pretty bad in terms of quality. I really should have done this with better lighting, and I probably will for the formal train job. Okay, so again, same idea here. So you could either press the W hotkey, is the W? Yeah, W hotkey to get so you can see again, we have the corner cursor here, and then I am going to draw a bounding box around my fist as such. So you can see I'm going to call this rock, obviously. So this is going to represent my rock. Okay, so and then I can save again, save. And I can't remember if there's like a faster way to do that where it's just like automatically saves. I guess there is a little save button off to the right there. So you can see, and then we can edit this bounding box if we need to change the size of it. Or I think if you want to change, and I don't know why these are just the default labels that come with label image. So you can see it's pretty easy to use though. And so that's okay. So let's talk pros and cons about label image. Pro is that it's probably the simplest of the three. As you saw, the installation was a bit wonky, but after we got it installed, now we are basically on our way. The downside is so when it comes to labeling anything for machine learning, whether it be structured data, whether it be images just like this, whether it be natural language processing, you usually want help in some capacity. And usually that help comes in the form of, business users. And so these business users are not necessarily technical users. And so this is the problem with this one. And so the problem being that you have to be somewhat technically inclined to be able to know how to do this. And then moreover, there is no okay, so these annotated images, we're working locally, but how do we get these annotations back to a shared place where somebody like a data scientist can go grab all these annotations from one area? So imagine you have 50 people working on helping you annotate images and whatnot. This is not a good option. This is a great option. So again, to recap, this is a great option if you're a single technical user, probably the fastest way to get going. Not a great option if you want to be more collaborative and get more people involved. So that's where the other two options come into play. And so let's go ahead and jump into option number 2 then. So I'm going to save this here. I'm going to close this out, and then I'm going to halt this script. All right, or I guess it halted itself. Okay, so that's option number 1. I mean, to be honest though, that if you are technically inclined as I am, that is the easiest and cheapest option, is just using the label image. But I do want to show you at least 2 more ways. So that was way number 1. So let's cover way number 2. Way number 2 is with this Label Studio. And so as you saw here, so this is the same group that created this label image is Label Studio here. And so Label Studio, in some ways it's nicer because you can actually do a lot more. It feels like it's more feature robust. And then I did not actually explore the collaborative option, but you'll see when we power this thing on that there is a thing where basically multiple people can log into Label Studio, and then multiple people can annotate images, and it goes back to a single place. So I don't know that part super well. And in fact, it shows you how to deploy this thing on a Kubernetes cluster. So the thing that I am super curious about is, could I deploy Label Studio to a Kubernetes cluster, and then have on that Kubernetes cluster maybe put some sort of LDAP authentication on it, and then so I'm trying. Well, okay, I was gonna say something about my job, but I don't know if that would get me in trouble or not. It's nothing bad. It was just something about our systems. But anyway, but the thing I'm wondering is could I deploy this onto a shared Kubernetes cluster, and then put some sort of authentication layer on it that then only certain people could get into here, and then do some annotations. And we'll talk a little bit more about that with the third option as well. But So yeah, so in order to install this is where I'm not really going to cover the install instructions here because this one was by far the most difficult to install. And I ran into a lot of hiccups, especially with my own personal Mac setup. So the one thing I do want to note here is if you go into my personal GitHub, and if you look at this repo, the CV Rock Paper Scissors repo, I did start a troubleshooting section with the image annotation with the Label Studio, and a lot of these are correlated to me being a Mac user, or a Mac user specifically with this M2 chip. So instead, and I might write up a list of instructions, but basically a couple things I want to highlight here is, number one, it does expect you to already have Postgres installed on your machine. So if you are not familiar with what Postgres is, Postgres is one of the most popular SQL options out there, SQL flavors out there, SQL databases. And so I believe that the reason that you need to have this installed on your machine is I believe it is using a SQL, like a light SQL database, Postgres database, in order to be able to store images. I don't know within memory, or if it's like actually storing the images or whatnot, but so like this actually does need to be installed. So this was a challenge. So I actually did have to, I have the instructions here on how I had to do that. And then if you're not familiar with what PsychoPG2 is, so PsychoPG2, I don't remember what the psycho stands for. It's not like psychotic psycho, but it is basically the Python library that we use to interact with a local instance of Postgres. So you can see here, first thing I needed to do is I needed to install Postgres. So I installed Postgres version 12 on my machine, and then I installed the PsychoPG2 binary. And then I had some additional issues here that, because these were so complicated, and again, because I'm like a tad bit out of it from oversleeping, like I'm not going to cover the install instructions here again. But once you do get them successfully installed, so the way you start that up is just typing this command here, Label Studio. And so similarly to how we just had the label image come up, this will actually open up in a browser here. And so this is I want to see if I can get a view here that isn't necessarily like already logged in. And in fact, I want to delete this. Delete this project. All right, can I delete it? Settings, danger zone, delete project. That's fine. Proceed. Okay, so because you could see here, I came in a logged in form. So this is the thing that's kind of odd is, okay, that's not correct. Because I just did this like 2 days ago. So when you first start up Label Studio, and this is the piece that I haven't really delved into more, I believe that it asks you to either sign up or sign in, and there was not a way that I could find around that. But I believe that the reason that they do this is so that then you could have like some sort of knowledge of who's doing what necessarily. So I don't remember. I need to look at my passwords here, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a second because I know I just did this the other day, and I just want to look to see whatever this password was. Okay, what was this password? Because I'm just looking through. I use so I use both 1Password, and then more recently Apple has come up with their own version of passwords thing. And I don't see where. I may just have to do a new one. I'm gonna re-sign up again. Okay, so, and then I'm gonna suggest a new password. Okay, no, right account. Okay, the account already exists. All right, well, I'll have to use a different email, whatever. All right, so, okay, well, I guess I could show you this because I don't really care about this. So let me go back to sharing my screen. So this is the screen that I saw when I first popped this up. And like I said, I'm not entirely sure what this is doing here, and like how you would get it to interact with, like, back to, again, if I worked at like a major company and I was trying to use Label Studio here on a Kubernetes cluster, like, could I get this to interact with something with like the Azure Active Directory, or if you're not familiar with what Azure Active Directory is, that's basically the more modern version of the classic Microsoft Active Directory. So anyway, so I'm gonna suggest a new password here, and then so you could see here that was all I had to do to get in here. And now I'm going to create a project. I'm going to call this CV rock, paper, scissors. Okay. And then I'm not going to do a data import quite yet, or maybe, no, I won't. So you'll see here, so now I'm inside this project, just so you're sure, like, you can see that there's multiple projects here, and then up here in the top, toward the top right. And notice here, this interface compared to the other interface with label image. Label image was creating its own UI on the fly. I don't know what technology it was using. This is actually browser based, so we are running this here within my Safari browser. Excuse me. And so I'm going to upload my files here, and so I'm going to travel on over back to where I capture all these files, images, all images, and then I'm going to just select all of these, and I think it's gonna, I need to get rid of that one XML file there. Okay, whoops, that would have worked if I was smart. Okay, there we go. All right, so you can see here that I've uploaded all these, and so now I'm gonna click this import button, and now you can see that I have all these things here. So now your first inclination is going to just be, in order to start annotating these things, is just to click this label all task button. But what it is going to tell us to do is that before you can do that, you need to set up a labeling configuration. And so this is where I did not necessarily delve super deep into how this thing works. The only thing I'll recommend is just, is to just use one of their standard templates. So you could see here we have this button here that says browse templates. And so if and so this is the cool thing about Label Studio as opposed to Label Images. Again, transparently, I did not look super closely at Label Image, but this Label Studio offers quite a bit here. So you could see conversational AI, time series analysis, videos. It does quite a bit here. But we are going to keep things basic here. So we are going to do computer vision, and specifically we want to do object detection with bounding boxes. Okay, so what we are going to do here is we are going to change our labels. So I'm going to change this label, or I guess I'm going to get rid of these labels. So I'm going to add a new label. So I'm going to rock, paper, scissors. So basically what we're doing here is, like I said before, this Label Studio is intended to be more collaborative. So this is, imagine, you are working for a major company and you are going to have 50 people that are let me start again. Let's say you work for a company that has a call center. So the call center people are not going to be as technical as a typical software engineer or a data scientist or a machine learning engineer. So what this is basically doing is setting up the user interface so that any call center person can come in here and readily understand, like, okay, this is what I need to be doing. So I'm going to keep things simple here. So rock, paper, and then scissors. And then the nice thing you can do is you can go and change these colors. So I'm going to change this one to blue, change this one to green, and change this one to that red color. Just 3 nice primary colors here. And then you can do more things beyond, so you could see, like, we actually have like I don't know if this is actually true HTML code. It kind of looks like it. But basically you can see here that, like, this is giving us a preview of what this is going to look like. And then you can add some additional things and whatnot. And then we will just click this save button down here at the bottom. So now that we have set that up, then I can come through and start labeling things. So you can see here that, like, this image is ready to be labeled. And is this what I wanted to do? All right, well, I'll just click label all tasks. So here is our user interface. This is somewhat similar to the one that we saw in label image, just a tiny bit different. So in order to actually add our bounding box here, so I'm just going to click what I see as far as the labels go. So this is one of our paper images. So I'm going to click paper, and then I'm going to, this is the one part that, like, I don't really like, is that, like, you don't get to see, like, the crosshairs of the like the X and Y axis, if you will. And then so you can see here that I can take this bounding box, I can change it a little bit, and and then submit, and then this is interesting, and then and then we can go on, so on and so forth. And then so I can just click skip. And then the nice thing about this interface here is it should have. Okay, when I did this before, it actually would tell you, or maybe it somehow didn't save. Maybe I didn't save it. Here, let's try this again. Let's just create a couple of these, because basically what I wanted to show you is because it would actually start to show like who did what, and then I'm just gonna skip all these because this could take a while. Oops, there was probably that XML file. Here, let me just go ahead and label this one really quick. All right, so red, that was a bad labeling. And this is the one thing that I'm not wild about, or maybe I'm just being silly. Okay, I'm being silly in terms of like I'm trying to resize this bounding box, and I don't see how you do that. I'm sure there probably is a way, and I'm just kind of being out of it right now. All right, so skip. No more tasks left in the queue. And so when I come back to here, okay, I don't know why it's not showing. When I did this before, it was like in this annotated by column, you would be able to see who annotated what and just be able to see, well, you could see actually the annotation there, so I don't know why it's not. But basically, so if I come back to here, then you could see that it looks like I tried to label 6 of the 31 images. There's only 30, or just remember I accidentally uploaded the LXML file. And then, so then once this is all completed, then if I wanted to actually export everything, then I get this list of all these different options in which I could export things. So I can export things as just a big old JSON file or a CSV file, or all. So let's, I did JSON earlier. Let's just see what CSV looks like. I'm not actually sure what CSV will look like. So it just downloaded to my my downloads directory, cd downloads. Okay, yes. All right, open, or no, ls. So, all right, now I'm just going to do a cat on this. So this is the output here. And, okay, so this is probably, okay, I'm just trying to think what is going to be the easiest way to view this, because I don't have Excel installed on my machine, but do I have numbers? Okay, I do, but I've never opened numbers before. I have no idea what this is going to do. Okay, because like I said, I got this new MacBook here. All right, view my spreadsheets. Okay, so, all right, so, yeah. All right, so you can see, all right, this is a kind of a nice view. I like this better than the JSON view, because the JSON view was kind of tripping me up. But you can see here, so basically off on the left, that we do have each of our file paths, and then we have the annotation ID, the annotator number. So this is probably number 2, just because I had to create that new user on the fly. So obviously 2 users there. Lead time, I don't know what lead time is. I wonder if that's just how long it takes people. I actually like this. This is pretty cool. I wonder, because I'm going to guess like that lead time is probably indicating to people like, okay, how many, so because probably one of the big concerns I would imagine that people would have is how many people should we have labeling these things? And so then you could look at something like lead time and understand, okay, it's taking approximately 7 to 10 seconds to label one image, and if we wanted it in an hour, we should probably have X number of people doing this labeling. So this is kind of cool, actually. I like this. So this is Label Studio. I like Label Studio a lot. Like I said, I'm a tiny bit confused on some of the like how the local aspects work, and then how you might actually use it in a collaborative sort of environment. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Okay, so now it actually is showing my images. So or my annotation. So you can see that it was annotated by me. With a really old email that I don't really use anymore. So, well, I'll just go ahead and show it. So don't judge me. The reason it says 12 there is because I was 12 years old when I created this email. So, yeah. So and I'm 33 now. So it's been a while. But yeah, you can see that, it looks like this represents, okay, total annotations per task, total skips. So you can see that there was a number that I skipped. Total predictions per task. I don't know what that means. That's probably for something else. But yeah, this is actually pretty cool. So that is option number 1. Option number 2. So let's recap again. Pros here. So the pros here is that it is like a collaborative environment. It also offers a lot of different ways you can label things, and then it offers a number of different ways you can export things. So that's pro. Like I guess the sort of con here is if you actually wanted to deploy this out onto a server or something where people actually can go in here, that's probably a bit complex, and I've not done that. Maybe it's not that complex, but that's why I want to go on to option number 3. And so option number 3 might be the reason that some of you folks are here, and that is we are going to cover AWS SageMaker ground truth. All right. So for this, I'm going to naturally have to log into my AWS account. So I'm going to do so aws.amazon.com, and then sign into the console. And, I need to pull on my phone because I have 2-factor authentication turned on here. Okay. All right. So I need to go in and check this thing here. So auth, Microsoft Authenticator. I use Microsoft Authenticator on my phone here. I was using Google Authenticator. I don't know if it's been updated since, but I recently transferred phones. And so the nice thing about Microsoft Authenticator, if you're not aware, is that I was able to just back up my stuff to the iCloud and then restore it when I got this new phone. But like 2 phones ago, whenever I was using Google Authenticator, that wasn't an option. So I had to go reset everything, and that was a huge pain in the neck. So Microsoft Authenticator for iOS, I can definitely recommend. Okay, so that's my two-factor authentication. All right, so here we are in the console. So the first thing that we are going to need to do is obviously we need to get our images up into AWS. So we are going to create an S3 bucket. I believe I already have one created. So I do have this bucket created already here called DK Hunley CV Rock Paper Scissors. And there's nothing inside of it because I did some testing the other day and then I intentionally deleted everything out for this live stream. So I'm going to create a couple folders here. I'm just going to call them inputs and outputs. Inputs. So this is where we're going to actually upload our images to, and then outputs. And outputs is outputs is where we are going to land the annotations. All right, so let's go ahead and upload our images. And I don't want to upload too many, so I'm going to only upload a few. So I'm going to upload maybe 2 papers, 2 rocks, and 2 scissors, just to keep things simple. All right, so I'm going to upload all these, and this is going to be very fairly similar to Label Studio in the sense that we're going to set up the environment, and then you can actually see that. Oh, okay, so you can't see behind my head there. Hold on. Then you're going to be able to see how we're going to be able to invite people to start collaborating, and this is where things get a little bit easier from the sense of where people can collaborate, and then your data probably already is in the cloud. So all these images are probably already in the cloud. So I'm getting ahead of myself with the pros and cons. So let's stop that for a second, and we'll continue. We'll circle back around to the pros and cons here in a little bit. So now that my images have been uploaded, so what we're going to do is we are going to go over into SageMaker. SageMaker being the generic service for machine learning. So SageMaker, I've covered in another live stream before. We've covered things like the notebooks, processing jobs, batch transform jobs, endpoints. But what we have not covered is SageMaker Ground Truth. So with SageMaker Ground Truth, what we are going to do here is we are going to create a labeling job, and multiple people are going to be able to contribute to this labeling job. So you can see here, I already did one here a couple days ago. So this is the computer vision rock, paper, scissors test. And so it was already completed and it has been stopped. I wonder if I can delete this. Can I delete this? No, I can't. Okay, so in order to actually create one of these things, so we're just going to use the console here to create this. So we're going to call this CV rock, paper, scissors. And then I'm going to provide the input location. So I'm going to browse S3, and I'm actually now this can be a little bit confusing here because your instant temptation would be just to click the circular radio button and move on. But remember, I want to put things or point to the input bucket. So you actually have to click on there and now click the radio button over here. So I'm going to put the inputs over here. And then for outputs, I guess we could have put them right back in the same location, but just to keep things logically separated, I'm going to put them in this outputs directory. So again, same story here. Just got to drill down here and then select the appropriate directory for outputs. Okay, and then data type, I'm going to call this image because these are JPEGs. And then we are going to need to provide an IAM role. So if we do not already have an IAM role, then we can just create one on the fly here. So I'm just going to create a new role, and I'm going to say just give it access to any bucket just to keep it simple. Obviously, if you are working for a large corporation or for a company, you do want to be very mindful of least privilege access. I guess the one thing I can say here is with this access here is it's basically only giving access to my stuff, so nobody can use this role, and I have all my S3 buckets and whatnot secured already to where it's not public access. And even with all that, I'm still, after this stream is done, I'm gonna go and delete all this because I don't really want to incur cost. on these things, so I'll just delete everything when I'm done. Okay, so that is the like pointing to the inputs, outputs, the setting up the IAM role, and then now here's where we can where I was mentioning before, like similar to Label Studio, we can start to create the thing that is going to allow our people to contribute appropriately. Okay, so we are going to select the bounding box interface. So you can see here, this is going to be looks pretty similar to what we've already seen before. Go on to next. Okay, so the input, the S3 input is verified, but however, there's do the following. Check your input is in the region and your input manifest. Okay, well, what's going on here? I didn't have this problem the other day. I wonder if I don't know. Let me try the IAM role that I created the other day. Okay. The JSON input location is verified as accessible, but there was an issue parsing your input manifest file. And what it would be the issue there. So I did this the other day, no problem. So I don't know exactly what's going on here. All right, so let's go into S3 here. Oh dang it! I meant to do this as a new tab. No big deal. Did I upload them to the wrong location? Is that what it is? I mean, they're all there. Okay, so no, I don't see any issues with what I uploaded here. Okay, so let's go back and let's just, I don't know what went on. Obviously I did something silly. Okay. All right, labeling job. I think it did not. Well, let me just check to see here what I did. All right, but I don't have a manifest here. So like I did not create the manifest, in case you're curious about that. That must have been created for me or something. CV rock, paper, scissors. Okay, so I want to specify a label attribute name. Okay, no. You use the provide the S3 location of the data set you want labeled and let ground truth automatically connect to. Okay, and this is what I did. And so location for your data set inputs. So that is the inputs. Not I may have clicked something wrong, but I don't know exactly what I did. It should specify new location, outputs. Oops, didn't mean to click that. Outputs. Radio button. Oh, I wonder if it's because I didn't click this complete data setup here. That could be why. All right, complete data setup. That may be what I missed there with the first one. Okay, maybe that was it. All right, now let's go ahead and click the commanding box here. And now, okay, now we're good. All right, so now, all right, so here's where we have a number of different options for who we can do the labeling. So we are going to choose the private option. So this is the private option is the one that you probably want if you're working in a large corporation, because what we can do here is we can basically say, okay, we want back to our call center example, we want our 50 call center people to start labeling these things. Now let's say you did not have those 50 people and it was like something generic, something that you didn't necessarily care, that was super private. That is where you could use this option of the Mechanical Turk. So the Mechanical Turk is actually, as it kind of notes here, a set of human individuals around the world employed by Amazon, at least on a contractual basis, that would actually do the labeling for you. And then there's this vendor managed one, and I don't really know much about that one, so I'm not even going to talk about it. All right, so now I'm going to create so I already did create a test team, so let me create a new, I'm going to call this CV rock paper scissors team. Okay. Oh, well, can I create a new team? Or, well, I guess test team will work, but I wanted a new team. I don't remember where I created the team at now. Okay, so that's fine, whatever. And then so enable automated, so I'm not going to enable that, but you can enable some timeouts here, some additional configurations, displaying of existing labels, and then here is where we kind of get down to the thing of where we're showing the different things that we could add, just like we did for the label studio. So I'm going to add rock, paper, scissors. Okay, and then we are, and then I need to put in a brief description of the text. Labeling, or please draw a rectangular bounding box around the image you see, around the object. I'm going to put object in quotes. Object you see. Oh my gosh, can't type right now. You see in the image. Okay, so there's that, and then we'll use this image, whatever, and then we could have some additional instructions, and it looks like I'm just going to keep those as such. All right, so create. Now, so what happened here is, oh, this is the thing that I missed out on. So because I selected that default of the test team. So what that team was basically doing is you could add a number of different emails to the test team, and then you could so now within my inbox there is an email probably that says, hey, you have some new things that you can go label. So let me stop sharing my screen here because I don't want to show my email. But like basically when I pull this up, and you're not going to be able to see this because I don't want to show the email. It's just going to show this very basic email that says, hey, there's something that you can label, and then you can log in directly through the email that way. And the email is not coming up yet, so hold on. I don't know if it didn't send or what. Get all new mail. We may have to do this again. Like, I think I'm going a little bit too fast today. All right, so let me just go to Gmail directly. Well, this is why I should not start live streams immediately after taking long naps, because then I get really thrown off. Okay, so the email is not here. I don't know if it went to my spam. Did it go to my spam? No, it's not my spam. So I think I'm gonna have to initiate this again. Or maybe it's just that it's not even started yet. You know what? I'm going to just cancel this. All right, so let me go ahead and share my screen again. Sorry about that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just kill this job, stop this job, and then hopefully, is there actually a way to create a team over here? Labeling workforces. So that's the, okay, so here's my private team here, and I basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this team and I'm going to recreate it. Okay, and then I'm going to delete this worker here, disable the worker. Okay, so so this is I'm going to create a private team here. I'm going to call this my CV RPS team, and then I'm going to use Amazon Cognito. All right, so here's what I was saying. So this is basically the body of the email. Like when I start adding emails to this, like this is the email that you would receive in your inbox. So it's going to look like that. So your username, your temporary password, so on. So I am going to go ahead and do that. So create private team here, and then I can start adding people to that team as such. And yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and add my personal email here to the team. I'm kind of regretting that I did some of this. Like, so just to be completely honest, like I don't like the fact that I revealed my personal email like this. Like, I mean, it's already out there because I already get too many spam offers from people, but like I'm really irritated with myself right now. And it's fine. I'll like, so, okay, so this is the interface that I wanted to show. And again, I'm wondering if this could connect. I bet this can connect to something like an Azure Active Directory. So I'm just gonna add myself as a worker here. All right, so it says status invitation sent. And so I'm gonna stop sharing my screen again, so just so like you don't see my inbox at least. Okay, so I don't know if you heard that little ding. So okay, so right now I'm looking at the screen that is basically the same sort of thing. Well, I wonder if I can just show the email without showing everything. Can I? No, I cannot. No big deal. And in fact, well, now that I think about it, I don't want to share this thing at all here because it's showing a temporary password. All right, so, all right, there's that. All right, but I do need to start up. Well, let me go ahead and share my screen again. Sorry, I'm kind of all over the place with this one, but yeah, so my RPS team, I'm going to add myself as a worker to this team here as such. Add the worker to the team. Okay, now I can go back to the labeling job. Now I'll create a new thing called CV rock paper scissors. CV rock paper scissors. Okay, and then sorry that we're getting our workout here with trying to figure out how to do this. All right, so choose the objects. Did I not? I just want to do the inputs. Okay, choose. All right, and then output, specify new location. All right, go back to the outputs here. Where are my outputs? Oh, it was already starting to create outputs. That's right. Okay. All right. So there, data type, image, and then we're just going to use one of these existing IAM roles, complete data setup, and that'll probably, okay, so successful. Now we can go back to here, here. Okay, select private team. All right, so this is the team again that I want to associate things to. I'm just going to add these labels really quick. Rock, paper, scissors. I'm just going to type in label the image. All right, so there. Now I can click create. And now that I'm already a part of this team, so over here in this new window, so this is the temporary window. Like, so let's say I'm that, back to our use case. Let's say I'm that call center employee where I am being asked to log in here. Then I can go and grab this information from my inbox and then paste in the temporary token. So again, I'm going to stop sharing my screen here so I can grab this password. Well, I just don't want you to see my inbox. So, okay. Email.com. I'm going to need a new personal email. I've revealed this one a little too much. Not now. All right, so change password. I'm just going to use just one of these default suggest new strong passwords. Okay, so now that I have logged in, let me go ahead and start sharing my screen again. Okay, and all right, so I don't see anything that has started quite yet. Did I not actually? Okay, that would be because I didn't initiate the job. Oh, it needs to be a unique name. All right, so labeling names must be unique. So previous. All right, so I'm just going to call this 2. All right, because I am getting lazy. All right. All right. Okay, so now you can see that this is in progress. And I am over here, so I am this call center employee. I don't see anything in here quite yet. So let's just do a refresh. And I should start to see things here. Should start to see an interface here that like pops up that shows, oh, hey, there's things that you can start to work on. And so you can see here, there's like even a toggle here on how to like actually work with this stuff here. And I don't know why it's not showing up yet. Maybe it's just because it takes a minute or something. I can't remember. Okay, still nothing yet. Well, let's keep refreshing. Oh, maybe this time? Nope. Because it's like basically what it's going to show here in a minute. Like, and I know this works because I did it the other day. It's going to show the I should be able to just log in here and view the stuff. Or did I get another new email? Hold on. I'm going to check my email again. Sorry. All right. Okay, come on. Yeah, I don't know why it's you are finished with available tasks. Did I not give it the right team name? Huh. Well, I don't know what's going on here. All right, in progress tags. All right, let me go ahead and just share my screen again just to show you. I mean, I just keep refreshing this thing. It did work the other day. I don't know if it's because I did things kind of out of order or what. Yeah. I mean, it should be associated. Is it not associated to this team? My CV RPS team. Okay, so labeling jobs. Oh wait, who are the workers? Okay, so I am a verified worker. I wonder if I just need to log out and log back in again. Okay. An error was encountered. Okay, well, I have thoroughly screwed up this part. like so I don't know what to say about this because I don't know what I did. Here. Let's try this one. No, because I don't know how to like get back in. Well, okay. All right. Let me stop sharing my screen once again because I don't want to. Oh my gosh, this is this stream is going off the rails. Sorry, folks. Okay, it's showing up now. Okay, I don't know what I did, but it's showing up now. Oh, hot dog. I don't know what's. All right, so you can see here. So now I am inside of here as a worker, and so now I can start doing the working. So now I can start working. All right, and so you can see here it's going to start showing. Oh my gosh, I forgot about this. I forgot about this. I should have remembered this one. Oh my gosh. This is today is not our day, is it, folks? All right, so let's get a Chrome browser going. All right, new Chrome browser, I guess. All right, so Chrome. I'm gonna pull this guy up. All right, there we go. Oh, you ever have one of those days, people? Like I'm having one of those days apparently, and I don't know why it's because we got this big old like chin up here now. Like why is it doing that? All right. And now I don't even remember what the password is for this. Great. Forgot your password. Reset my password. So I wonder if this is going to allow me to do this again. All right, hold on. Oh, wow, that actually did send a verification code to reset my password. Okay, so code. All right. I just typed in an arbitrary password that I actually will remember this time. All right. Gmail.com. Sorry, just logging back in. Error encountered. Oh my gosh. This is not making me happy. All right, so open link with Chrome. Okay. All right, I need to get back to sharing my screen, don't I? I think, okay, finally. All right, I got it back working in Chrome. All right, sorry. All right, just note, if you are a worker, apparently you do have to do these things in Chrome and not Safari. All right, so now I can start working. And now, oh, thank goodness. All right, so now this is going to look pretty similar to what we've already seen. So now I can select over here this, so I can put like the bounding box here, submit. There's only 6 of these, so we'll just do all 6 of these really quick. So let's do the rock as such. I know this is not perfect, but I'm just trying to like power through at this point. This I was really excited about this stream a couple days ago. I thought, wow, I'm gonna have a lot of good content, but I am really off with that nap that I took. So lesson learned. And like I said, I'm not gonna use these images because these images are harshly colored with my stylized lighting. Okay. And then, does anybody have any questions or anything while I continue labeling? I'm looking at both YouTube and LinkedIn. I don't see anything. Okay, so label that. Submit. Paper. How many more do I have? Does it say somewhere? I don't see that it says anywhere. Paper. Submit. Okay, that should be it. All right, so now we are done here, and now we should be able to go back over into our labeling jobs, and so this should be marked as completed or something, or stopped. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the, well, let me refresh. I don't know why it's not showing them all. So I should be able to go into AWS, or where is AWS? Here's AWS. All right, sign in the console. I'm already signed in. All right, now I should be able to go into S3 and look at those annotations. Okay, so here's my rock, paper, scissors. And then if I go into the outputs of the job. All right, so here are all of our annotations. And it comes in, this is the thing where I'm a little bit off because I'm not really sure like exactly why there are so many different files here and what they're all necessarily intended to do. but I can download it. So let's go ahead and look at it appropriately. And I'm probably, yeah. Where's the downloads? I just did download it, did I not? Oh, duh. Okay. All right, there we go. All right, so now we have downloaded it as a JSON file, and I'm going to just look at it and text edit really quick. So I believe, well, it doesn't have everything in here, but you could kind of see in here that the annotations are buried in here somewhere. So like you could see the image size, the content. Where are the okay, so here we go. So like here's like the bounding boxes, so height, width, top left, top right. So yeah, basically like this is just our third way to do it. Okay, so let's come back again here. So let's talk about pros and cons here. So pros, this is probably the easiest way you can get going if you are already working in AWS. You already have your images in AWS. You already have a workforce out there. So this is probably the easiest. Cons is probably the most expensive too. I actually don't know how much this cost, but I would imagine that, you know, with the other two just being open source, that it does not incur any cost except for the what do you call it? You know, just the compute power of your infrastructure, which might not be a big deal if you already have something like a local Kubernetes cluster or whatever. So that could be. I would imagine that there probably is a bit of a challenge here also in trying to figure out how like the Azure Active Directory connection would play into here, and then making sure that security all works. I do know in my company that I work for that some of my people are using SageMaker Ground Truth. I did not participate in the setup of that, so I do know it's definitely possible from an enterprise level. And I guess that's all I want to show today. Again, I'm not exactly sure like what everything is in here. Okay, I'm gonna imagine that these are just like the individual annotations themselves. But you know, I think I'm gonna call it a stream here. I'm kind of irritated with myself on a number of different levels. I don't know if you could tell. I do want to delete everything out of here though, because it does kind of make me nervous of, you know, things incurring costs. So I am manually stopping this. I don't know if this automatically stops after 6 or if you always have to manually stop it. I'm going to manually stop it just to be on the safe side. And then I'm going to go into S3 here, and I'm just going to empty out clean out this whole bucket. I'm not going to delete the bucket though, because I might reuse this bucket for something. So I'm going to delete all these. Delete, permanently delete. And that should be all that you have to delete. I know that there's the IAM role that we created, but the IAM roles don't incur costs. So I'm not worried about that one. Okay, so that is that's really all I wanted to cover today. So so that is the different ways that we can capture annotated images. So again, there is not necessarily one way, like in terms of like just the pure technology of what we're going to do. I think you can use any of these three options just fine. Now we do, like I mentioned toward the beginning of the stream, we are going to have to convert these outputs into something that the TensorFlow can read appropriately. And so I think that's probably going to be the next live stream, or at least part of the next live stream. And then from there, we will be able to start actually training our things. And so I don't know if that'll necessarily be next week's live stream. So as you might recall from last week, we did begin a secondary project around natural language processing with Twitter hashtag tweets. We may also return to that. But for now, I'm going to call it a day because you know, I think we're at a good stopping point anyway, and it's been a little over an hour. So, yeah, sorry for the hiccups and stumbling there. I think the stream still went okay. I'm not really entirely thrilled with how the last part went off the rails. But so, I'm honestly partially tempted to just take down the stream because I revealed my personal email so many times in there. So I guess if you do watch this, please don't spam me with email. Like I guess I'm not super worried about it because like this email somehow gotten out there anyway, because recruiters, like even just this morning, Amazon themselves tried to recruit me again through this email. So I don't know how they got it. So it's out there. But I'm just irritated that, like, I guess in the future I just need to create like a dummy, like, that's probably what I'll do. I'll probably end up creating just a dummy email going forward. So yeah, things could have gone better today, but it's not the worst. So anyway, we'll go ahead and wrap up here today. Hope you all have a good day, and thank you very much again for watching, and I will see you in the next stream. Have a good weekend.